Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle, and we're having coffee with my beautiful flower mug. Flowers are present, all except for zinnias, because the earwigs keep eating my zinnias, and they're one of my favorite flowers for bouquets. But this year, bouquets have not been as necessary in my life, which is a change. And change certainly is in the air, which can lead us into a place of fear, discomfort, despondent, all those things. And so today, the angels, guides, companions are coming through with a message about freedom. Today is July 3rd, the day before our Independence Day celebration. And so, speaking about freedom was what seemed to be the theme that needed to come through. Uh, Earlier, I was online looking, and there's one friend, someone I actually have met and know, who I really like. I don't know her well, but she is such a warrior, which is a great thing, except that constant battle is a form of bondage, because when you are in constant battle, she really promotes what she feels is right, which is, generally what we are doing whenever we're doing anything. We feel that it is the right way for us to be. But her stance is very much um, divisive, finger pointing, um, victim consciousness. And that is truly the opposite of freedom. And what she feels like she wants to do is break down this country's history in the past, as many of them are doing today. The truth is, the past is what it was. Us deciding that we don't like it doesn't change the past. What is important is to look at the future and how you want to be. Freedom is a choice. Freedom is an inside job. And today's cards came from, what did it come from? The Mythical Goddess Tarot. And as I started sorting and shuffling, 6 of them really just jumped out, and it's so appropriate for this subject matter today. So, manipulation. This is very important. I hope you can see that. Sometimes I'm going to see if turning off the light on this camera will help these show up more. Well, not necessarily, but what you can see is a woman there with a puppet, and she is manipulating how that puppet moves. Or she is the puppet. I'm sorry. The hand up above is controlling the strings. And that's how many of us view creator, the universe, all of that is as being manipulated. We have to beg God for something for us. And true freedom comes from within when we begin to understand our power in creation, through our energy, through the agreement we had with the universe before we stepped into this lifetime. And so what we want to be aware of in the manipulation is all the manipulation that is happening, that we can step into or we can pull back from and look at with discernment. In the last video, I think it was 2, maybe 3 videos again, we talked about discernment and beginning to really trust what you're feeling, what you're sensing about things, because there is uber manipulation happening throughout the US, particularly. I mean, I'm in the US, so that is a focus for me, but throughout the world. And the greatest manipulation we can experience right now is through the media. And what they want is to keep us divided. This is what this woman that I was talking about is doing in her truly intentional, good intentions to make a change. But what she's doing is keeping us continuously divided and pointing to the fingers of blame, pointing the finger to blame, who we need to blame. The truth is, all of the power is within us to make whatever changes in this world, but it does start within. The only true freedom comes from within us. So this manipulation is something we first must recognize in order to change it. And then we seek clarity about this manipulation. How do I move forward in spite of? How do I disconnect from it? How do I know what is true? And that is truly where the freedom comes from within us, with that constant, I'm open, I'm willing, I'm ready, guide me, this connection to the universe, source, the great I am, the central sun, God, Allah, Buddha, whoever you follow, whoever's teachings you follow, whatever you believe in. You may not follow anybody, and that's perfect. This energy, I mean, I connect to the higher power, whatever that looks like. It could be your higher self. It could be the crickets outside. It could be Mother Nature, Gaia. It is the connection to a higher source that helps us find and maintain the clarity of our truth. You're standing in your power with the energy of creation that you have, that you are, never wants to have authority over someone else's power. That is how you know it is divinely experienced. You want everyone to stand in their power, because when people stand in their power, there's no need for judgment. There's no need for manipulation. There's no need to create them to be what we think they should be. You know, I do a coaching group, and the pocket coaching this week is on judgment, because judgment is all about how we need other people to be. Has nothing to do with truth. It has to do with our insecurity, our need to define others so that we are okay within ourselves. So seeking the clarity of the truth of your power in your life to create freedom regardless of what is going on outside you. The freedom to create the life that you desire. And it begins with our thoughts, with our words, with our actions about ourselves. And freedom to create also releases us from the confines of what society tells us we are supposed to be, how we're supposed to look, how we're supposed to behave, how we're supposed to spend our money, how we're supposed to walk in this world. The only true freedom comes from you connecting with source and allowing the guidance that is available to come through for you. Truly standing in your power allows others to stand in their power with ease. It doesn't have to be a certain way in order for you to be comfortable. No one else needs to stand in the power that you hold, because they can't. You are the creator of the life you're living. If it's rough right now, you want to understand how you created this, how you brought this into your field, and what that looks like. The next card that came up is Revolution. And it kind of looks like where our country is headed, but this revolution is very personal. This is a huge shift inside yourself. And when revolution happens, regardless of where, it is rarely comfortable in the beginning. It's an upheaval. It's an explosion of the way things were, moving you into the way things can be, the way things you choose them to be. But that only comes from you owning your power and choosing the most peaceful, aligned, balanced pathway for you. It is not the same for everyone else. And so, you know, this woman I mentioned keeps hammering at how awful we all are the way we are. And it all needs to change. Change will happen. But owning or believing that everyone must change to your definition of what is true is very sad and is very powerless in the creation. When you stand in your power, you have room to allow others to stand in their power. And you too standing in your power opens up communication, opens up allowance, opens up beauty between you and acceptance of how the other is. Everyone does not need to change to your definition of what freedom looks like, of what power looks like, of what life looks like. The best way to get into this place of power is centering, quiet, connection with that higher energy, open, willing, and ready to receive the guidance that is available as you walk through this world. When you're connected to your source, you have that inner compass. You have that, this something about this does not feel right. I'm not in alignment with how this feels. What needs to shift? Is it me? Do I need to remove myself? Do I need to work to improve my energy here? You can't change others. You can't manipulate others to be what you want them to be and still stay in integrity and in alignment and in inner peace. That is true power, inner peace. That is the revolution. That is the change that needs to happen, is you deciding what is best for you in this walk. And again, like I've said before, sometimes that means people must leave you, and that is okay. But you forcing them into boxes so that they fit into your definition of how life looks and what is supposed to be is not okay. It is not where your peace lies. That kind of structure results in strife. And being free of strife is truly the most freeing thing you can do. And strife generally comes from us believing that we need to be different than we are, that others need to be different than they are, that everything needs to be different. And the truth is, peace comes from within you in allowance of how things are and looking at you and your power as to how you respond to them instead of react. So much of the world right now is in reaction, and that is an uncomfortable place to be. It is what needs to be right now in order for this revolutionary energy to begin to really find its path. That does not mean it will be comfortable. That's why cultivating your inner freedom, your inner peace is key now to helping direct this revolutionary process into more light, less darkness, strife, dissension, blame. All of those are heavy, dark energies. And those dark energies want to maintain the control that they've had for millennia. They are the powers that were, and they are dying. They are screaming. They are in their death throes. We need to hold our light. We need to hold our truth as to what it is we are capable of doing in this world by holding ourselves, centering, staying connected on a daily basis, getting that at the very least time of quiet. Listen to some music, drum, whatever makes you feel the most peace. And then truly it is a time when we want to align with a tribe of others that have the same focus, the same understanding of your power, their power, the combined power together, because this is how this shift that we are ushering in will happen. It is the togetherness in allowance of our differences. People don't have to be the same. as we are. People don't have to follow the rigid lines that we set up for them. We had a house guest a while back who was very politically active in her small community, which was lovely, and is lovely. And she's a great change maker. She basically scolded us because we, as people who didn't like a certain thing that's going on. Do you go to your council meetings? And I said, no. Do you do any of this? I said, no. And she said, well, she didn't say it to me. She said, then people don't have the right to gripe. I am not a political, I am not, I'm not a fighter of things. Can I still not like how things are going? Yes. But I also understand the allowance of things are going to go as they need. Me holding my personal energy is enough for me. If I was to go to these meetings and begin fighting with the different, that is not how I maintain freedom, how I maintain peace within me, which is the greatest freedom we can have. So know what your truth is. You may be that political activator. Perfect. Everyone is not that. And your rigid holding of someone else's behavior as needing to be a certain way in order for you to be comfortable with it is truly discomfort within you, because it is a constant battle. This woman that I was speaking of earlier, not the house guest, but the other one, is in constant dissension with the world. To me, because I like her, and I watch, I watch her. We're not someone that we visit with. She lives in the area, but she lives, 30 miles away. She's in a very different stage of life. But when I read her posts, it is so fulminating in unrest that it makes my heart ache for her, because she is a lovely, lovely person. That is her path. And for me to try to design that for her is a lack of integrity in what I'm just talking about. I don't need to manipulate her, but I also don't agree with how she presents her ideas and her idea of change to the world. But the truth is, we need those out there who are willing to fulminate this unrest. It is not me, because I can't separate my inner peace from that. Our inner peace is the most important thing we can cultivate, because when we are more peaceful inside, we are in a higher vibration. And when we are in a higher vibration, that is what we're sharing with the world. We must maintain our own boundaries. Again, this woman that is such a fighter is not someone that I would invite into my life on a regular basis. We have very aligned spirits. That is the peace I feel around her. But her focus is too contentional for me to be in. And so you must take care of your energy. You must take care of, set your boundaries. And the ones that scream the most at your boundaries are the ones that don't want you to have them. They want you aligned with their boundaries. So as you step into the boundaries, putting up these boundaries outside yourself, there are going to be people that hate this. And you're going to know who they are, because they're going to spend a great deal of energy telling you why you are wrong. That discernment that I spoke of earlier is key to allowing your truth and allowing you to stand up for your boundaries and knowing what is appropriate for you and what is not appropriate. And then the last card is passion. You absolutely want to indulge in what you are passionate about. This woman does indulge what she's passionate about, because that is her path. It is not my path. And again, the judgment, thinking other people must act the same as you, must believe the same as you, must behave the same as you, is a very slippery slope, and it is never going to lead to peace within you. Allowing other people to have that and offering them your energy of peace within their path is important. But as far as passion goes, your path is where your passion lies. And it might seem really silly to you, because I'm passionate about dogs. How is that, pertain to the bigger picture in this life with the people and what's going on? Dogs are a living creature. Your passion may be in plants, in how you interact with them. That passion could be the feeding of other people the truth about those plants, or feeding other people those plants that you have lovingly grown, or teaching people about the truth about plants. Did you know plants have consciousness? They do, as do the trees. They have this communication ability. Plants offer themselves to us daily. So your passion can be many forms, and it doesn't have to be a certain way. It doesn't have to be something like this. This was my passion of teaching people about the truth of their power and the creation of. That is true freedom. Our country truly is breaking down. I believe a revolution is in our forward movement. Is that going to look crazy? Probably. And it's going to be something none of us have ever seen anything like before. That's been true of every generation that have lived in the world. The wars that they have, the revolutions they've had are unlike anything they've ever seen before for most generations. Some of them lived through more than one upheaval and revolution. What that looks like, I don't know. I can't even imagine. I think civil war could very well be something in our path in this country. And what that looks like, I don't know. It does not feel lovely to me, and I don't want to imagine. What I need to imagine is my path in holding peace within me, sharing that peace with others, sharing guidance with others, and being truly what I came to be. Jumped in lady. Hello, Julia E. Thank you for joining me live. And thank you all for how you support this, and how you create what you need to live in this world, and the work you're doing. Thank you for being the love, for being the peace that you can, and for looking for that. What is your path? How do you walk in this world? What did you come to do in this lifetime? This is a lifetime of great change, of great clearing of energies, karmic energies. This is what you can do in this lifetime. We are clearing generations and paving a way for a new world to come in. So this 3rd of July, before our Independence Day celebration, I offer you wisdom from the Creator about creating peace within you, using your discernment, choosing to walk in your higher path in whatever way that looks appropriate for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again.